All right, I want to share a layout that I use to get an overview of the market and the sectors for the day. This is something I check in the beginning of the day and periodically throughout the day just to see uh, which index is moving the most, which sectors are moving the most, and basically where the money is going or leaving. So what we're looking at here is on the top left, I have a comparison of the SPY, Dow Jones, Qs, and IWM in a line chart. On the right, I have all the spider ETFs, so the X's basically, spider sector ETFs that is. And on the bottom, I have daily charts for the indices. So again, the SPY, Qs, Dow Jones, and IWM. And I also have, as you can see, overlaid um, support, resistance, and algo lines that I draw in different boards over here. So you can hide them. It's a little messy if you're not used to it, but they're useful to me the way I have it. So at any given time, you could look at this dashboard and then basically my eye first goes to these percentages on the top right of each of the lower panes. This tells you the daily change for each of the major indices. And then if that's not enough, you can obviously look at the daily chart, but then you can see um, the performance of each of the indices relative to the other ones on the top over here. So basically these top panes over here, they are 1 minute charts. I don't trade the 1 minute chart, but I find the 1 minute chart useful over here because it kind of gives you a more frequent indication of what's happening. Basically, you get more data points to look at, and you can basically see the change of one index relative to the other a lot more easily than a longer aggregation period. But one cool thing about the comparison mode in TC2000 here is if you go to the options or the chart properties comparisons, there's this checkbox that says start all plots at the same point. So if I uncheck that, you'll see that the chart gets a little sloppier. But basically, when this is checked, the leftmost part of the chart, all of the lines will start at that point, and then they'll branch out from there. So effectively, what that gives you is the ability to see how one chart evolves relative to all the other ones. So as you can see, if I adjust the time period, the charts are getting squished together so that they all start at the same point. So this gives you a valuable tool in that if you wanted to see, for example, what is happening starting at 2 p.m. over here, which sector or which index is doing the best. Well, you just adjust your zoom to 2 p.m. so that 2 p.m. is on the left, so they're all about the same. And then you can kind of see how the charts evolve from there. So in this case, the brown line over here, which is IWM, it started to sell off more than the other indices. And as you can see, once we had our end of day crazy sell off today, it led the way down, down, down. And actually, all the other three indices stayed about together. And it looks like the Dow Jones is actually had the most strength in the sell off. So yeah, that comparison also applies to the sector ETFs over here. So what I usually do is in the morning, if I just zoom into the morning part of the day over here, you can see, oh, the yellow and white lines were strongest out the gates over here. So yellow is XLE energy, and the white one is XLC communication. So you can see, okay, those were the leaders in the morning. This is the middle of the pack, and then there's the laggard over here, which is this dark yellow, which I think is XLP, consumer staples. And then you can kind of see over time how how the performance of each of the indices, or the sector ETFs evolves. And then that's about it. If I wanted to see which sector was weakest into the sell-off, I can just adjust my zoom to the beginning of the sell-off. I can see that the orange line is going down the most. That's XLY, consumer discretionary. Which also brings up another point. I don't know what all these sectors, what these names are. I forget them all the time. I only really know two of them, XLK and XLE. But what's useful here is if you forget, for example, what XLV is, all you have to do is type in XLV, and then it'll just autocorrect. It'll tell you in the menu over here, it's the healthcare ETF. Same for XLB. What the hell is that? That's the materials ETF. So one little hack for remembering what each of the sector ETFs is. And that's about it. Hope you found that useful.